Hey guys, Numemon here with another deck profile, and as you can see from the thumbnail, we are actually looking at Monzaimon, or Numemon deck, basically. The cool thing is we've had a lot of Numemon cards come out for the last, like, what, 13, 13, maybe 14 sets, including the extra sets. And, I mean, Numemon was kind of there, but it was mainly a black level 4, champion that basically just allowed you to kind of cheat your way through evolution, specifically like in my Machinedramon deck where it was a one cost guy. But now that we finally have Rising Wind, we finally have actual support for a deck that is based around Numemon and his evolution, Monzaimon. And we do have a few Monzaimon cards, but the original one was originally a like vanilla blue that didn't really do anything. This one actually can do something, which is really cool. And we also get a new level 6 in the form of Shinmonzaemon from the 25th anniversary Digimon Color device, which surprisingly, I was not expecting his effect to be that good, because not only does it help you set up your trash, but it also has a ability that can actually get around deletion or removal effects that most decks can protect against, because most protect from putting to hand or deck and basically deletion, but this one is similar to how Chaos Degrade is, where you basically place them into security, which is one of the few things that can stop a lot of decks at the moment, including like hunters and other things that actually have alternate ways to get rid of other things. So pretty cool. Aside from, like, literally the only card I can honestly genuinely think of that can stop it is Congo, but at the same time you have to fit it into your deck to stop this deck, which is pretty hilariously fun to watch it happen. But yeah, let's get into deck profiles so you guys can see what I'm talking about. For eggs, we do run 4 Pagumon because we do want to see our specific new Numemon dying. That way his on deletion effect will trigger, which will trigger his effect and then this effect as well. That way you can get 2 cards off of a deletion with him. So we run 4 Pagus just to see that happen, basically. There are other eggs that you can consider, potentially Doraemon, but the thing is that a lot of the specific Monzaimon that we focus on, specifically hard plays itself, so the egg doesn't really matter in that case for him, which kind of sucks. But for now, this is mainly just for the Numemon on deletion effect. For rookies, we run exactly 12 for once, which is kind of weird, but especially since I've been playing other decks that have had less rookies. But this deck actually does need them because they do a lot of cool things. So first off, the first rookie we run, of course, is Doraemon, the new promo one that basically activates in security. And surprisingly, its effect hits almost like 75. It basically hits, not almost, but it hits 75% of this deck, which is really crazy because looking through the deck, I was like, there's no way this effect pops off as much as like in Dark Nightmare. No, it pops off even more because you get to just play out almost anything in the deck as long as it's not a level 5 or 6. Everything else is basically free. It's really awesome. Then we run 4 Chikurimon because de-digivolving is still one of the most busted effects in the game, and a lot of decks cannot counter it aside from like maybe Greymon. So this card really hurts people badly. And then we run, of course, also 2 more Chikurimons, specifically the one from the Black Starter deck, the Ragnarlord one, because we do want to stop Royal Knight from doing their thing, and we don't really reduce our cost. We gain memory, kind of like Machinedramon, so this card does not affect us in any way possible. So pretty cool. That's basically all the rookies that we run in the deck. For level 4s, we actually run a pretty decent amount because we have to fit almost every Numemon, also Garamon, which counts as a Numemon, and surprisingly Nanimons, which is actually in one of the texts of the Numemon. So pretty cool. First, of course, we run the 4 Numemons from BT2. This guy's still really cool. The fact that he can just be a 1 cost and the fact that he's only 3 costs to play actually helps us evolve faster into our level 6. But most of the time, you're using this guy, actually, surprisingly, as either evolution or a discard father. The new Numemon is much, 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 much better. So we run 4 of this mainly for the evolution and, discard. So yeah, we run the 4 Numemon, Then we run, of course, 4 of the new Numemon that I just mentioned. This one is a dual color black-yellow, which is really cool, and he can evolve for 2 on top of yellow and black. The coolest thing, though, is his new on deletion and his inherent. On deletion, he reveals the top 3, and then you can add 1 card with Monzaimon in its name and 1 card with Numemon in its name among them to your hand. So you're basically getting, if you hit both, you get 2 cards. If you hit 1, you get 1. That's fine. But if you hit both, you get them, and it's really cool. And then this doesn't actually trash it, it bottom decks it. Unlike a lot of other yellow-black decks, they tend to trash a lot of the stuff they search. This one actually does bottom deck it, which is really good, because then you don't deck out as fast as like Sukamon. Then its inherent is on opponent's turn. While this Digimon has Monzaimon or Numemon in its name, it gains blocker. So most of the time this will be good, and you have a blocker. And with how Monzaimon works, you're minusing 3,000 on something, which forces them to basically die to them, which is really cool. Yeah, then we run 3 Garamons. I opted to run 3, mainly because I only have 3 foils, but I like seeing the other Numemons, especially this one, more often, so I opted to run 1 less. It's a really solid card, honestly, because in this, since it counts as another Numemon, you can get the effect off of this Numemon, and you can play it off of this one as well. But its on play is still really cool. Not many people actually run this card, so they don't know actually what it does. On play, by trashing 1 card with Numemon, Sukamon, Nanimon, or Enamon its name, you get to draw 2. So it basically covers almost the entire deck. So pretty cool. Then we run, of course, 4 Nanimons, because this being a security Digimon gets played at the end of at the end of a battle, basically in security. So you get an extra body that helps you either evolve or swing for game. So you got to run at least 4 of these. That way you see them consistently in your security and in your hand to evolve for. That's basically all the level 4s we run. We run about 11 of them, which is just 1 more than usual. Or actually, my bad. We actually run 8, 12, 15 of them, which is kind of weird, because how this deck works is that, you know, you basically want to see your level 4s as much as possible, because they're low cost ones and they help you go into your level 5s faster. So you just kind of go with like focusing on them, and then the rookies are just kind of there just to help facilitate the level 4s. But yeah, that's basically all the level 4s we run. For level 5s, we of course run 4 of the new Monzaimon. These 3 are still proxies at the moment, because I surprisingly, Rising Wind is really weird with the ratios for pulls. I only pulled 1 of this. Out of the 3 people that bought boxes at my locals, we only pulled 1 Monzaimon, and I was the one who pulled it. So I've had to proxy these for now, but still, it's fine. So this new Monzaimon is actually really solid. His effect is, like, this deck feels a lot like a security control deck, which is really weird, but at the same time kind of cool, because it's based off of Monzaimon, which is one of the OG Digimon from the original version 1, so pretty cool. So his effect is pretty cool. So he has an alternate Digivolution clause, where he can Digivolve for 3 cost from any level 4 with Numemon its name. So either it evolves for the 4 cost, or it evolves for the 3 cost, which is pretty cool. But most of the time you will be hard playing it, so it's on play, and when Digivolving stuff will be mostly other things. So on play, by placing 1 Digimon card with Numemon in its name from your trash as this Digimon's bottom source, you get to gain 2 memory. So basically, when you hard play this becomes a 5 cost every time. So you're basically passing them either 1 or 2 memory every play, if you have your memory setting tamer out. Also, its inherit is pretty good, where if it has Monzaimon in its name or Numemon, it gains security attack +1. So this is actually future-proofing, because in BT14 we do get Platinum Numemon, which actually does boost with this, so pretty cool. But yeah, along with the on-play of, gaining 2 memory, you also, one of your opponent's Digimon gains -3,000 and gains minus security until the end of the turn. So you basically stop them from checking, and he sets up as a blocker if he's on top of the Numemon, or he equips the Numemon, which is really cool. Then we run 4 of the old Waru Monzaimon from BT5. I finally have a use for the promos. This one is just basically a cheap cost evolution. That's mainly what he's for. Sometimes you can hard play him, but that's if you're in a really dire situation, if you just brick that badly. But most of the time you will be evolving this on top of like Nanimon or some kind of level 4 that's been sitting on the field from a previous effect. So yeah, you run 4 of this just to see it, and it's searchable from Numemon, so pretty solid. For level 6s, of course, we do run the 4 Shinmonzaemon. Surprisingly, my box that I bought, I pulled a alternate art and a normal art of Shinmonze, but not any more copies. So I opted to, for now, proxy these. Shinmonzaemon is actually a really busted card. I originally thought it was okay, but then after reading what it does, it's actually really strong. When Digivolving, you get to place all level 3 Digimon face down, so including your Digimon, so it doesn't distinguish between you or the enemy. And then all of your opponent's level 4 or higher Digimon gain minus 3,000 and gain security attack minus 1 until the end of their turn. If you combo this with, like, say, Venusmon, you're basically stunning their whole deck, which is pretty cool because basically all of them gain the minus 3,000 and security attack until the end of their turn. So basically it's a blanket effect, meaning that if, let's say, you evolve this but you still go at 0, you can evolve into Venus and do another minus security, so they're getting minus 2 security, so basically none of their effects will be going off if they play any Digimon, which is really cool. Then his other effect is actually the more busted one. It's his when attacking one. By trashing one card with Numemon and its name in this guy's source, or basically by trashing one card with Numemon in its name in this Digimon's Digivolution source, place one of your opponent's Digimon face down at the bottom of the security stack. So you're basically guaranteed to bottom deck it because you will always basically have a Numemon underneath it, which is really cool. There are only very specific situations where you won't, like, let's say you don't have a Numemon in trash, but most of the time, like, I would say about 90% of the time you will see it with that, and you just automatically get to do that every time. And of course, with this, you're basically getting an extra security chat, and then it dies, and then you just make another one the next turn, and you just keep doing that over and over, and you keep bottom decking their big guy, basically. But at the same time, you might be probably wondering at this point, like, how do I hard play this without passing memory? Usually you do pass memory, but I've been able to pass them to 1, which is really crazy, which actually forces them to kind of, like, play along with what I'm planning to do. So then next turn you just kind of go off, and with some of the option cards in like Cootie's Kick and like Prime Memory Boost, you should have enough memory to evolve into this and then just like go off from there. But yeah, we run 4 of the Shinmonzaemons. Then we run, of course, 1 Ofeni Fall Down Mode because we do like to heal, and it helps us play back our Numemon, which helps us, of course, search again, which is really cool. Then we have Shadow Seraphi, which helps us de-digivolve stuff if they try to swing into our security. And of course, if they kill this thing, you get to heal anyway and get a minus 4,000 for every single thing in the stack. So pretty strong, honestly. That's all the Digimon in the deck. The rest of the deck is actually mostly options because we run 4 Cootie's Kick. Cootie's Kick is actually kind of busted in this deck because if they hit it in security, you get to just search the top card and set up a Digimon on the board so that if they don't have removal for it, they basically get hit by it the next turn. And then if you have another one of these in hand and they pass you to 2, you play it, you have that Digimon die, and then you gain 3 memory, then you hard play something or evolve or do whatever, and you just go off of that. And the cool thing is that it also makes it so they can't be blocked. So basically, if they try to like redirect it or anything, it basically can't go off. It's really cool. Then we run 4 Prime Memory Boost because Prime Memory Boost basically hits almost everything in this deck except for the 5s and 6s. But as you can see, most of the deck is 3 cost or lower, so you're guaranteed to have this go off every time. And of course, giving you an extra memory is really cool. Then for the last option card, we actually run 2 Holy Flames. The build that I actually got from the person who actually basically gave me the idea for this deck, shout out to him. I almost forgot about that. Like, shout out to him for giving me this idea. He was actually on the Digimon Hatchery Discord on the Digimon TCG section. He basically gave me the idea to this. It's really cool. Originally, he was running 2 Heaven's Judgment, but I wanted to just keep minusing security, so I went with the minus 3 security off of the Holy Flame and its effect. So I really like this a little bit more because it helps stall your opponent way more, because I've had situations with Heaven's Judgment where the minus 12,000 just doesn't kill their guy, and it kind of screwed me over because they just checked again for game. This one ensures that they will not be able to check me for game, which I like more. Then the last 2 cards of the deck, of course, will be the 2 Tamers, which are the TKs, which basically hit almost everything in this deck except for Garamon, Nanimon, and Warumanze, and Numemon, and some of these. But most of the time, you will be able to get this off, which is kind of cool. Not everything, as I said, is yellow in this deck, so you might whiff with TK, but at the same time, I like TK being there to help me kind of heal, and mostly the main thing is to grab Shinmonzae if he's in security, or to grab Monzae if he's in security. And if you miss, it's whatever, you still get a card regardless, so I've opted to run this to kind of set up the Holy Flame. Aside from that, yeah, that's basically the deck. The deck is actually really unique and really fun. As I mentioned, it's like playing a security control deck, which is kind of cool because then you're always gaining a Digimon on board. Unless they fully remove your board, they can't really do anything next turn to you once it goes to your turn. So it's just kind of cool how it just keeps going off and it keeps doing its thing. I would say probably honestly the worst matchup against this deck would be Belphamon because they can just pop this honestly, but that's if they can get the setup fast. I noticed that this deck is actually really fast, mainly because almost everything is so cheap cost. You're always guaranteed to pass them to as little memory as possible, which does kind of stop them from doing stuff. So it's actually pretty solid, honestly. Aside from that, that's basically the deck. And as I mentioned every single time with these deck profiles, they're basically just templates for you to use to kind of make your own version, basically. But yeah. Aside from that, as usual, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of this build and how cool it is. Honestly, it's a really funny deck. It's funny to spring this on your opponent. It's kind of like playing Sukamon, but instead you're just playing a slug guy and his bear level 5, basically. So pretty cool. Aside from that, I'll see you guys next time.